All right, ladies and germs. Um, all right, that should be enough. All right, so this is different. I'm doing this on my computer, and you can see I got my phone in my hand. Um, so Saturday night, I had a little incident, as you know, if you watched my last upload, and it was kind of it put me in a place that I hate being in. Paranoid, waking up every hour on the hour, thinking something bad is going to happen. So, to tell you a little bit of what happened to me Saturday night, I'm sitting in here, all my lights were off except for the kitchen stove light. And I'm sitting here, it's 9:05 at night, and I'm getting ready to lay down. And all of a sudden, I hear a rustling sound. And I'm like, what is that sound? Did some mice get into the walls? Because in this building, ever since they've been working across the air, there's a lot of stuff that's been, a lot of creepy crawlies that have been crawling into this building. And it's getting cold outside. So I'm like, no, that's too loud for mice. And I know it's not a rat. Um, because there's no rats around here. All the rats that we have in Chicago are all downtown. So, we got field mice down here. So, and it popped into my head. I'm like, what if somebody's trying to get into my house through my window? So then I literally see like a silhouette of somebody trying to climb in the window. And I'm like, what the fuck? So then I scream, what the fuck? Like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking serious? And all of a sudden, I'm like, are you really fucking kidding me right now? And I'm saying this, hearing all this rustling of my window. So then I hear on the fucking, oh, excuse me, on the flipping window. Like, first of all, you had the audacity to climb. What I think happened because there was no trash bins near the window at all. And it's a good drop from where I'm at. This individual, he decided to climb the gate and climb onto my window ledge. Now, mind you, I've never had this happen before. Everybody who lives up the street from me, they see me, they know that I live over here. They've seen me before. I went to school with a few people down the block, and I'm like, I've been here for what, approximately 6 years. Never once had I had an incident. When I first moved in, there I noticed that there were screws in the windows, and I asked about that, and they told me the the guy who, the realtor says that there was an issue with people trying to climb in the window. So, in order for squatters not to come into this apartment and fuck it up, excuse my language, not to come in here and mess it up before I moved in, they screwed the window shut. So, I'm like, okay, didn't really think anything of it. And then maybe around, when did my child come out here? Around maybe the end of 2015, the beginning of 2016, sometime around there. I A few years prior to that, I had, well, 2014. I'm gonna take it back. I was dating this guy in 2008 to 2011 who was very volatile towards me. If you don't know, there's my when you go onto my page, the first video you see is what my scars and my bruises. Um, and you could tell I was very emaciated. Like you could tell that I was badly depressed, and I was just in a really dark space because I was really, 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 really skinny. And um a lot of my old jeans that I gave away, I was able to fit them, but they were like really baggy on me when I first came home. So, um, fast forward to 2014, I had to live in a shelter for a little while. And he, like, I had been telling him to leave me alone. And then we had not talked to each other in quite some time. And I don't know who started it. I don't remember if it was me or because I was bored or if it was him, but somebody started the interaction. I don't remember who it was, but we got to talking again, and I'd stopped. Like I felt like I had nobody to turn to, and so I went back into my old pot, my old kettle, and I'm like, well, he's out of the military now, and this, that, and the third, and he's, and then, so fast forward a little bit, I tell him, well, he was having some troubles, and I tell him, well, why don't you come back to Chicago, and you know, after a while, I hadn't heard from him. And I'm like, go figure, I was upset, but I'm like, well, looking at his track record, it's not a great track record. So a few days go by, and maybe 1 or 2 days, and he calls me, and I'm like, where are you? What are you doing? And he says, well, I'm in Chicago. I'm at the VA downtown, and they're gonna find me a place to go. And I said, okay. Um, he knew I was at a shelter. He didn't know. I didn't tell him what shelter I was. So fast forward a little bit. You know, that night I get another call, and he's like, where are you? And I'm like, where are you? And he was like, well, I'm over here. And I said, I started laughing and I said, well, I'm in the same place you're at. So I'm outside and with him, smoking a cigarette with him. And, you know, we were, I guess we were an item, but there was a lot of disdain. I noticed that a lot of the girls that were in this shelter, it was a lot of the females that were there. It was like a split shelter, so there was regular people there, and then there was, people who had to be there, and then there was veterans as well. So, um, I started noticing a lot, but it was kind of weird for me because for the longest time, my mouth is getting dry. For the longest time, um, I hadn't spoken to him, but it was almost like we just fell right back into, you know, right back into place, but not necessarily where we left off. He wasn't whooping my ass like that. He wasn't whooping my ass at that present time because we were both fucking homeless. We were both trying to make it and whatnot. So, um, so just fast forward a little bit. I noticed that a lot of the females were they had an eye on him, like, and it's typical. It's typical. I don't, he when he doesn't know people, he doesn't. He never really talks to somebody. He really keeps to himself a lot of the times, unless they talk to him. So I don't know, I was kind of feeling out of place there, like almost like we were doing something wrong, but we weren't doing anything wrong. You know. Um. So we had fell back into a relationship, and I don't know. I just felt like but people change, but sometimes people will show you what you want to see, what they want you to see, versus what you should be saying. And you know, it was it was like it was a temporary shelter. Like if you had to be working to so with that being said, our time was up, and then he found one of his relatives, wanted let us stay in their basement, and he just started turning back into his old self. And I had been through so much with him that I actually found myself taking on a lot of his characteristics, a lot of his traits, and I found myself to start acting how he acted towards me. So I would act the same way towards him. And it was kind of like the tables were turned in a way. And I wanted to celebrate my birthday. So I got, I got a pizza and some alcohol. And a friend of mine bought me a bottle of um, dessert wine. And I was pissed because he had drank most of that. And I'm like, God damn, you left me fucking less than a glass full. And I'm like, I want to save this. And, I noticed that he was starting to make me really angry. And a lot of how I used to be towards him, and he was kind of doing that with me because he didn't really have shit. You know, he was, he was, in a sense, we were helping each other out. And we moved into this one place, and I'd got a call back, and we had this one place, and so he was living with me, and he just started going back into the old. Started it was slowly going creeping back into that, that person that I once knew him to be, and when we first moved into there, he felt some type of way because I was in school. I had my own friends, and I one time I introduced him to my friends, and it was like he didn't want nothing to do with them. And I'm like, well, you know, you're like being very standoffish right now. And he would talk, but he wouldn't really talk like how I used to talk with my friends. I talk, sometimes I talk too goddamn much, but, you know, when I'm around people who are like minded individuals and I get comfortable with them and I, know who they are and they know who I am, it's, we get to talking, when you're having an intelligent conversation with people, that's what you're supposed to do. It's, they say something, you kind of, listen to hear what they're saying and you kind of talk about whatever it is that everybody's talking about. So I kind of, I don't know, it was weird. And then I met some of his friends, and they would play this card game that I'm like, I had no fascination to because, first and foremost, when the cartoons came out, they came out while I was in high school. When I was in high school, I thought I was grown. I didn't watch cartoons. I didn't watch any of that baby stuff. You know, I was into hair and makeup and Usher. I was in love with Usher, and I hung around other people my age in high school. And I didn't have no interest in that type of shit. I'm like, that's some shit, sixth, seventh, and eighth graders do. That's their type of, game. Um, so, um, it kind of got irritating for me after a while because he would consistently be like, well, you don't want to spend time with me. You're always falling asleep in the living room with the TV on when you do your homework. And I'm like, where the fuck else am I supposed to do my homework? This is where I sit to do my homework, you know? And he's like, you don't cuddle with me. And I'm like, I'm noticing that, like, he's turning into this female and I'm like the male now. And it's like, well, what do you want me to do? Tell me, what do you want me to do? Because I've got schoolwork. Sometimes I have to pull all nighters to get this stuff done. You know, we hang out, we see each other every day. I don't see the problem. And it was a lot of the stuff that he used to do to me, and not noticing that I was doing this as well. I guess he felt some type of way. He felt, well, she has her own friends. And he even expressed this to me that, you're pushing me away. And it's like, I feel like crap. And I'm like, well, I mean, what do you want to do? You're working, I'm in school, and I'm working too. What else? What do you want to do? Set up a time, a date, and we can sit down and spend some time together. And I guess he felt some type of way because, look, hearing it, it does sound like you got to make an appointment to spend time with me. But I'm the type of person where I have to schedule things. If I want stuff to work out in a certain order, I have to, plan. I'm a planner. Sometimes stuff doesn't pan out the way I plan it, but I know that, sometimes stuff happens. But, you know, and then I ended up having to move out of that place um, because they screwed up my paperwork. So then we found it was irritating because first argument we got into over there, he grabbed my wrist and he wasn't letting go of my wrist, and he would kind of push me on the couch. And he was like, "No, we're gonna talk about this." And I'm like, "Right now, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear your voice. I don't want to see your face right now. I'm pissed. You do what you feel like doing. I don't care." And it was because I think that was the day. Yeah, that was the day I came in about 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the next morning because I went out. I hung out with a friend of mine and her friends, and I had a little too much to drink. I wasn't gonna go. She didn't want me leaving out the house. I was gonna go and go home, and I'm intoxicated. Who knows what would have happened to me. So she let me crash on her couch. So he calls me and I'm sleeping, and it's still in the middle of the night. It's like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he was upset. He was like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm over at my friend so and so's house." And he's like, "You want me to? I'm gonna come and get you. I'm gonna leave my friend's house now." I said, "No, you want to hang out with your." This was the night he wanted me to go with him to his friend's house, but then I went over to my friend's house instead because I just felt like I'm in the house with you. I see you every day. We're always around each other. Sometimes I just want to hang out with my people, you know. And I told him, I said, "You go hang out with your friend." And I'm like, he was upset. So then I decided to go over my friend's house for a minute. He was like, "I'm gonna leave my friend," and that goes all the way up until, you know. And I told him, "No, you want to hang out with your friends, you go hang out with your friends." You know, I walked in the house, and this fool, I believe it was a Saturday, Because Sundays are usually dead. Like, Sundays, nobody's around. And this fool was laying on the couch. So I walked in and I said, "Hey, you been sleeping on the couch all night?" He was like, "Yeah, because you decided to stay out." I said, "Well, you had an attitude with me. I didn't want to be around you because you had an attitude with me because I chose not to come with you to go to your friend's house. So you had an attitude with me and you stormed out of here last night." I said, "You pissed me off and somebody was like, 'Hey, why don't you come hang out with us?' You know." And I then decided to go over to my homegirl's house. So he was like, "You out all night? Who was you with?" And I told him who I was with. I said, "You want me to call her on the phone so you can talk to her?" And he was just mad, ugly, and nasty to me that morning. And I'm like, I came home. Okay. I didn't go out all night last night to come home to you nagging me. I said, and I said to him, and then I said, you know, because if that was the case, I would have found something else to do and came home later than I'm coming home. He's like, "You're coming home at 1 o'clock the next day and this thing." I said, "It is 9 o'clock in the motherfucking morning. What are you talking about? The latest it was 10." I said, "What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about? 1 o'clock the next day. It's not 1 o'clock. Do you not see the kitchen, the time on the kitchen? You know, and on the clock." And he had a real funky attitude. So he starts arguing with me. And by then, it's like fucking 12 noon. He's still talking to me, and you know, I said, "So what the fuck you want to do?" Like, I mean, it's not like I went out and fucking got dead drunk and decided that I was gonna walk the street. What did you want me to do? You want to go out with your friends. You had a funky attitude with me, so I decided to go out that a few hours after. So what? What do you want me to do about it? So I said, "You know what? This ain't gonna get resolved right now. You're upset. I'm angry. I'm gonna go for a walk." I said, "I'm gonna go to the store." So he's like, "No, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna stay here and talk about this." And he pushed me on the couch. And I'm like, "No, let me the fuck go." He's like, "No, you're not going anywhere." I got so fucking frustrated. I pushed his ass the fuck off of me. I literally pushed him so hard, he fucking was like halfway across the room. And that room was pretty big. I was in the fucking kitchen. And it was like an open space. It was the kitchen and the living room. And I pushed him so hard that he fucking was near the damn TV in the living room. And I'm like, "No, we're not doing this. I'm going to go to the store. I'm going to walk to the store. And by the time I get back, then we can talk about it because then both of us will be cooled down." Then I get up to leave and he pushes me on the couch. I pushed him again off of me. I said, "No, because I'm going to go." He grabs me by my wrist. He holds on that motherfucker like he's about to fall down a goddamn cliff. Damn near try to break my shit. Excuse my language. Damn near almost try to break my wrist. I said, let go. Let go of me. Let me the fuck go. I got so angry. I got so fucking angry. I was gonna let him fucking have it. I said, boy, if you don't let me fucking go, it's gonna be some problems in this fucking house. Excuse my language. There's gonna be some problems in this flipping house. So I'm outside the door and he's got my hand and I'm telling him, if you don't let me go, I ain't got no. I think I even told him I don't have a problem with slamming your hand in the door. And he eventually let me go after me pulling away. I almost fell down, but he let me go. So I leave, I walk to the store, and I'm like, the nerve. By the time I came back, he was asleep. And I'm like, oh, now you want to go to sleep. But, and then we ended up having to move because they messed up my paperwork from that place. And we found another place. And, some things happened where at that place, I was talking about bringing somebody else in. And I wanted to see where it would go. And he was like, no, that's fine, because, you're more than enough for me. And I was like, okay, so I left the issue alone. Little did I know. First and foremost, he's got pictures of everybody he has slept with since before we met. He's got pictures of everybody he slept with after we met and we're together. He's got pictures of everybody he slept with while we were together. And he's got pictures of everybody he slept with. After I left him and came back home, he's got pictures of people he's been with while we were together, while we were here. He's got. I wouldn't be surprised if he had pictures of me. So if y'all see something, you see my face on it, make sure y'all tell me about it, okay? So, he had this thing where, if something happened to him, he would release a whole bunch of information. I'm like, well, you do know that whoever you give permission to release anything that has to deal with any provocative photos or videos, that's revenge porn. Don't do me, baby, because I will get Black China's lawyer, and I will have Black China's lawyer making sure everybody in that family goes broke. Okay? Don't play with me. I am that one. I will take it to court. I will have everybody wishing that you weren't born, that you were just some dirt stain on the sheets. So anyway, I digress because we're not going to water that seed of anger. But anyway, so fast forward, we move out of there. We move into the new place, and I'm stressed out. And he's just so acting nonchalant, like it's not stressing him out. And I'm like, What are you? Are you human? Do you not know we've got this amount of time to leave this place to find something else? And he's like, well, you gotta calm down. I said, I'm stressed. When I'm stressed, you see it. My attitude changes. I be trying to flip tables. I be mad. I be wanting to punch people in the throat, in the dick, in the balls, in the vagina. I be wanting to flip and cut somebody. I get stressed. So, um, he's like, calm down. I said, why aren't you stressed? You should be just as stressed as I am because now we've got to find something else. And this is ridiculous. So, eventually we do find something else. We move out of there and we move over into a new place. And everything's going seems normal, you know. Um, his relative comes over and visits him, and from time to time, and don't ever. I'm going to tell you from experience. Don't ever extend opening your house to somebody because sometimes some people in some families they will overexert their stay. They will overdo it. They will be over there every day. And it's like it's irritating, it's annoying, especially if y'all two, don't really can't really coincide together. And so anyway, I'm like, I let bygones be bygones. So then he comes to me. He's like, well, I just wanted to ask you about, you know, if you still wanted to bring somebody else. And I'm like, I mean, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. You know, I come to find out that this person, he's been talking to her before he even brought it to me. After the fact that he said, no, that's fine, you're good enough for me. And I'm like, I was hurt by this time. I've got the stressing your family coming over here every mother effing day. Then on top of it, I got to deal with you and your attitude. Then on top of it, I got to deal with this now. I said, okay. I said, it's whatever you want to do. When a woman says it's whatever you want to do, don't do that because it's whatever you want to do is telling you, okay, you go ahead and do that. Because guess what? As soon as something hits the fan, it splits creek for me. It's over. I done already made it in my mind. It's over with. Like this is just gonna be the straw that broke the camel's back. So then, this other person comes over and I I did. I slept with the person. Like, what do you want me to do? Because I know for a fact your track record, you probably done already slept with her anyway. So anyway, but I digress. So I mean, hey, it was great. So fast forward a little bit more. This person moves in, and stuff just starts getting out of hand. He's like, I don't know what she's telling him, but it's like me and the other person before this. It's like me, him, and this other person before this situation all over again. And then now I'm getting accused of doing stuff that I'm not even doing. And I'm like, well, okay. So then I ended up going to see somebody else. And I was so mad. And he said something. And I was like, well, that's fine because I was just out with somebody, you know. So, with that being said, one thing leads to another. He goes into manic depressive, bipolar, schizo, paranoid delusions. Stops taking his. This is another thing. When somebody who has a multiple diagnoses stops taking their meds, and on top of it, they're like the 1% that is violent. It gets hairy. Literal crap hits the fan, and then now he's putting his hands on me. He tried to get a sister to jump me because because he took my phone. Mind you, I'm over here. His phone rings. I see it. It's another woman, and I asked him about it. He gets mad instead of coming to me like an adult. He gets mad, takes my phone, and tries to throw it in the tub of water. I had a pot ready to put my phone in some rice. I took the pot. I hit him in the head with it. I sure did. I sure did because why would you put your hands on me and then take my phone and dump it in the bathtub after I asked you because I saw this woman's phone number come up and say, "What do you want to eat, baby?" So I hit him extremely hard. All I remember, because this is the only thing I remember. I remember pulling my arm back. I black out and I hit him in the head. I come to. I just feel like I don't know where I'm at. I'm blacked out. I'm like it's almost like I passed out in a sense. But when you black out, if you ever turned off your TV and you know how black that screen is, it was that I was in a fit of anger. I literally blacked out. It was like the TV turning off. It's like the TV was on. The TV cuts off. It's a black screen, and I don't see or hear nothing. I come to. He's got me by my neck. I'm like a good foot off the floor because this man is like over 6 feet tall. And I'm like 5 foot 2.5 without my shoes on. So I come to, and he's got me lifted off the ground like a rag doll. And I said, dude, you're bleeding. And I see this, I see blood coming dripping down his shirt. And he drops me. He's like, you crazy, B? You crazy, B? He calls the police. I get in my Medea mode. I said, go ahead, call the police. You want me to call them for you? I'll call them for you. Because you over here putting your hands on me. What did you think I was going to do? What did you think I was going to do? I said, I'll wait outside for him. Because at that moment, I felt he was going to try to attack me again. I felt, I did feel threatened. I felt threatened. So when you feel threatened, you go into fight or flight. And I just so happened to go in fight mode. And I was mad. I was mad angry. So um, I thought he was going to run at me. And then I was going to have to take him out. This is the scariest thing ever. when you're in a very volatile situation and you do finally defend yourself, it's going through your mind that if he attacks me, I'm gonna have to do what I have to do to survive this. Whether that be knock him unconscious or like literally, you know, you know, gone, flatline, you have to do what you have to do to keep yourself alive in order for this person not to hurt you. So I went in automatic mode, and I was volunteering to go outside because if he attacked me, I'm telling you now, he would not even have survived that day. But to say this is to say is to let you know what I went through and what it the toll it took on me because I chose to be with somebody like this. I was and it was all brought about because Saturday, when this guy tried to climb through my window, the first thing that went into my head was, "Oh my God, it's so and so," because this person told me stories about how he would climb fences and gates to get into people's windows. And I'm like, but that doesn't make sense because it's been 5 years almost since I stopped talking to you and you stopped talking to me. So why would you wait 5 years, almost 5 years, to come and try to do that? Like, usually this person would have done it within that week. From the stories he told me was that within the week of him breaking up with somebody, within that same week, even the next day, he would be trying to climb into somebody's windows. So that was the first thing that I thought. I was like, well, I've been here for forever. Everybody knows me. Junkies walk back and forth in the alley, but they've never done that. So I'm like, I gave a fair warning. I said you have a few seconds to get off my window or I'm shooting. Point blank period. If somebody is trying to enter into your house without your knowledge, without your permission, without your, you know, and especially through a window, you have the right to do what you have the right to do in order to protect yourself and your family. So, with that being said, I've been racking my brain as to who this possibly could be. Because I'm trying to find. Um, and that put me in a really bad place. That put me in my not so nice place. My unhappy place. And that night, I woke up every hour on the hour. I was supposed to be somewhere that day and was late and had to reschedule it. And then Sunday, I was like, I don't even want to go anywhere because of that happening. Who's to say, it's a shame, but I had to put screws back in my windows. Like, I won't open my windows unless it's daytime and I'm here. Like, and then on top of it, I did call the police, but they didn't want to come out here. So, had I had to shoot the individual, I can guarantee you they probably would have came out here. I'm trying to find these messages. Oh, 2015. I did have an order of protection from this person because it got to that point. Like, he literally re-dislocated my jaw. He punched me in my face. He had a sister punch me in my face. And she was trying to fucking choke me out on the floor. But I wasn't going down. You know, I had her ass in a headlock. And I'm like, I'm not going down. No, I'm not. And then 2016, the early part of 2016, the girl that he was cheating on me with called my phone and was like, I know you got him put in jail and blah, blah, blah. I said, sweetie, if anybody got him put in jail, that was him. He got himself put in jail. I said he was dating somebody else when he left here. I said, she was like, I'm going to whoop your. I said, well, you know where I live. You know exactly where I live. He told her, I found out later, she was trying to be my best friend. I found out later that he told her that I was crazy, that I was going to come and bash her car windows in, that I was going to come and bash her house windows in, and I was going to ring the doorbell, drag her outside and beat her up and all of this stuff. And I told her, I said, first and foremost, I don't give a F what he's doing and who he's doing it with. I think he got somebody pregnant because the watch that he gave me was on that same chick's wrist, and she had a newborn little bitty baby. It hurt me to my soul because he forced me into having an abortion with him saying, either you get an abortion or I'm going to bury you in the woods down the street. And this is while I was in New York. So, with that being said, I am to this day glad that I was not stuck with somebody's child who's got all these mental health problems, and on top of it, who's very volatile. Like, I don't want any. If I was to have a kid, that would not be the ideal person to have a child with. And on top of it, a lot of women who have children with their abusers, it's a sticky situation because they're still allowed to see the children, even though there have been instances of these men killing themselves and hurting their children. You know, hurting themselves to where they're, no longer here, as well as their children. Um, so that was that was a good thing for me, and I wouldn't want to be stuck with another child anyway. That's. And on top of it, like, who's gonna run after a 2-year-old at almost 40 years old? Like, come on. I could barely get out of bed some days. I'm like, ugh, I'm hurting. I'm in pain. My first child is already almost a grown man. So, I could be sick as a dog and he knows how to fix himself something to eat. So, with that being said, children, mm, I don't know. And, at 36, after 30, you start a woman's time capsule is technically geriatric, so 36, I'm already too old to have children anyway. So, I'm good on that. But um, I'm saying I'm hot because I turned off the fan. It's nice and cold outside, but I'm not answering that. I mean, I'm not opening up the windows. But so I'm saying all this because that incident that happened Saturday, it reminded me of this person. And it was like always in the back of my head. But I didn't really think anything of it because, you know, it's been it's going into 5 years. You know, I don't know where you're at. All I know is you possibly are in the western suburbs somewhere. I don't know. So, you know, it just brought me back, and I was reading these messages that we used to talk back and forth after I had to go through the court to get them out. But this one, I don't know what the top part says. It says, "You love me, but you don't." I guess you say you love me, but you don't. It was just a convenience for you. No matter, I just hope you can be honest. And so your girlfriends, you try to get back with me. My life is better without you, and will always be better. I know better to fall for your lies. You only know how to compulsively lie, and it's too late to try. I have you. I have you too many changes. You need to realize you lost me this time forever. I don't know what I was trying to say when I said I have you too many changes. Or you need to realize you lost me forever. This time forever. So hopefully you get over me. You never trusted me, loved me, or care for me. I I just wanted you, no one else, and you said it wasn't in your nature. So goodbye. And he says okay. And it says, I'm done. You say you miss me and changed it. Sounds good. Maybe you did for someone else, but I just don't believe you. And he says, well, that's only something you would have to see and be willing to try. I can't do nothing but tell you at this point, you gotta be willing at some point, but I'll be here however if you need me. And I say, I don't trust you. I feel like you're only trying to manipulate me and think I will backtrack everything and how hard I've been working for that you just want me back, want want to be back with me because you think I'll take you back. And I don't know what this one was supposed to say, but it says, I guess he was trying to say lots of it is due to argument over whatever always got in the way. You starting to yell at me. You were calling me everything but the name my mom gave me. This is me. Now, we argued. That is not healthy communication. And he says, I'm pretty sure that if we had just really talked about lots of things and just both not yelled and did a one for one match, we could have still been together. It's about if we had not yelled and did, you did this, so I'm going to do this type of thing. Um, I noticed that a lot. If a lot of your issues deal from something, my issues more so trying to trust you, I guess. But you didn't want to do that. I feel if I'm going to bear most of the weight, there is no use for a man around. Oh, because eventually he didn't want to pay the rent. He didn't want to pay the lights. He didn't want to pay for the gas. He didn't want to pay for the cable. Every time I asked him, hey, the light bill's due on this day, we got to pay it, he would cap an attitude. And it was like, well, there's no use for you being around if I'm going to have to tell you, you're a grown ass man. You should know the light bill's due if the light bill's due on the 13th, you should know you got to pay it a few days ahead of time or the day before if you're using a bank card, you know. Um, I feel then there's the dishes, and not to mention cooking and cleaning. All you wanted to do was sit on your butt, eat, and sleep. You, you must be around. Oh, because he wasn't messaging me back, but he was reading this. And so I said, you must be around your girl because I'm doing all the talking. Then there's you wanting to talk and not having anything to talk about. What was that? I don't mind doing some stuff, but if I have to do the majority of everything, it's a huge problem. Which it is. Like you shouldn't have somebody living with you if you're gonna take the brunt of everything. If you're having to pay everything in the house. You know, that's why I tell people no. If you're not gonna pay for this, that, and the third, if you're not gonna put food in the fridge, I don't need you around. And then he says, and no, there's no hate or anything negative in there. Love, I wish you could see it. I guess he was trying to say there, but love, I wish you could see it in me and not the bad person I was years ago. You used to say, you see, I'm different than before, and yes, you was right. Just so much had happened between us that we never talked about. He was talking about how there was a lot of stuff that happened while we were in another state, and it was just off the fact that he he was able to manipulate me and say certain things to me that I believe. Today, if you try that bull mess with me, it's not going to happen. And then I said, why would I talk to you when all I saw was what you were turning back into? He says, because I wasn't and never would be that person again. Be honest, tell me, let me think. How about hell the F no? He says, and those were all me. He says, well, okay, I just wanted to try and see if things could be fixed. I said, I would never come near you if you were the last man on earth and God told me to reproduce the world. Nope. He says, okay. And I said, thought you had a girlfriend already. And he says, and how you figure that? Now I go on to say, you always bring your relatives over, putting your relatives in our business. I can give someone love because, oh, I can't give someone love because my mind doesn't exist anymore. And he says, how so? You got love in you. And then he used to call me Scooter because he said that I would scoot around town in my backpack and move around town all day, every day. And I told him, you had the best of me, you had the worst of me, and no man has ever had that, not even my child's father. I gave you everything and tried too much. He says, if you didn't, we wouldn't have found each other after all these years. And then he says, opposites of the same coin. And I said, to be someone who, I don't know what I was trying to say in that one. I guess I was trying to say, tell him he was like trash, I guess, in so many words. And I go on and say, if you were trying to come back in my life, don't bother. When I left, I was beyond over you. I just needed to finally wake up and see that you and I were and still aren't meant to be. I tried to give it a go, but you were never satisfied with only you and I. So I figured out that it should never be with us. I tried to give you everything and it wasn't good enough for you. So as you read this, I don't care if you want to try anymore. I gave it my best and you will never be satisfied with anyone and you won't be with yourself either. I have been doing good, hell, better without you. So save the lines for someone else who gives a care. Who gives a damn, because I see right through them. As well as you, your sorries will never be accepted over here. I don't want anything from you anymore. You hurt me, and I see the real you and not the make believe you. The scared little boy who doesn't want to be alone and would much rather make everybody miserable. Someone else will get to him because I see right through them as well as you. Your sorries are not accepted. And you'd rather much be alone. I gave you 5 tries and you were too damn stupid to realize that. Each time you took a piece of me and threw it away. So as far as it goes, I don't care about your feelings or anyone else for that matter. He says, well, I want to help that change that. I said, you should be a comedian. Or you should have been a comedian. He said, no, I'm seriously talking to you on this. And I told him, get the out of here. And then and this goes on for a minute. And then the next day, hey, hi there, hi. And I said, what is it that you want this time? If you're trying to come back into my life, don't bother. When I left, I was beyond over you. Oh, so say what you want or think. See right through your BS you talked about. So then he says, well, say what you want or think, but don't send me death threats of any sorts via third party. I tried being civil towards you. This is the thing. I never sent death threats to anybody on my behalf to him. I never told anybody to go beat him up. I never told anybody, to shoot him or anything of that nature. And and then he says, so you're saying you have a firearm and any threats of shooting me you make is needlessly made. And as far as the other stuff you're talking about, well, you just feel some kind of way over everything you want. You won't pass messages third party if so. And if you looking for a debate on this, nah, so do stop with the nonsense. I came at you civil as I can, not to argue nor fight. And I said, see, there's the real you. This is why I left and want both from nothing from you because your sorries are worthless to me. I won't know what you I don't know what you want from me, but anything you say I don't believe because you treat me like crap. I am too good for you. You can say whatever you want. I know who you truly are and who is that. And you pass messages when you can just come at me like an adult. First of all, if somebody decided that they decided they knew me but decided to beat you up, that's their choice. I don't condone anybody. I don't pass messages third party. I come to straight to the person. I'm not about to be like, well, I want you to go over there and go take care of my business. No, I'm not that type of person. I don't have the time to be doing that. My life is too busy. I got too much going on in myself to try to do that. That's some grade school stuff. That's that stuff that you do when you're in grade school. Somebody did something or said something to you, so you and your friend go over there, or your friend just goes over there and does, you know what I'm saying? Um, a selfish, self-centered person will hurt even the people that love him. Paranoid and delusional, and won't take responsibility for anything he has done. Hey, and he says, hey, I can admit my wrongdoing and fault, but things in the past, about things in the past events. And only says sorry because it sounds good, is what I say. Now, all that sounds harsh. Now, don't you think? I say, you never loved me, that's fine, but I can see that now. Nope, it's the truth. You only wanted to be with me because you let you tell it I was easy. He said something to somebody about me being an easy mark. He says, I loved you. You knew that. You just freaked out every time I tried getting close to you. No. Every time he would be around me, he would hit me. He would smack me. He would call me all types of stupid. I couldn't even have my bank card when I was with him. Yeah, I did. And had every right to. You cheated on me the whole time we were together. And since you couldn't give me a monogamous relationship, you hit me and thought buying gifts after was a way to keep me. And then he says, you always pushed me away once we got close, and it was me and you all the way on over at the old place. And I tried showing you I can do nice stuff for you, not buy you off. And then I said, when I cheated on you that one time, I realized that we were never meant to be together. And for you to say to me it was multiple times was when I finally figured out you will never be a person who can't abuse someone and use them till you say it's over. And he said, you cheated on me. Yes, and I did something wrong, and we fought because you was being stubborn and not wanting to open up. So these are just, I'm not going to continue to read these because there's too many for me to finish, and I want to finish my Bobby book. Um, there's a lot here, but that's just a bit of how he treated me. That's just the stuff that I went through, that I allowed to happen because I thought I couldn't be by myself when I was totally freaking wrong. And I'm reading these just because I'm going to tell you guys why I am the way I am today, and kind of tell somebody out there that there's hope. It's not, it's not always butterflies and rainbows, but then it's not always darkness and clouds and rain either. After the rain, there's always, you look in the sky and you see a perfect rainbow. And sometimes talking about it helps. I'm telling you guys about this because I've been having multiple dreams of this person trying to come back around. And then that incident that happened to me Saturday night just kind of opened up, my unhappiness, like that part of me that I kind of fixed throughout the years and try to put back together. Um, I used to not be able to talk about stuff like this. I used to always cry about it because it was something that was very painful for me. And when you're going through something like this, it kind of it takes time to heal. It really does. And it takes time for you to be able to open up and talk to people about it. I'm not, I don't want a sympathy card from anybody, but I just want you to know who I am as a person and the stuff that I've been through. There's a lot that I've been through, not just this stuff as an adult, but as a child, I was abused, as well. And, it takes time to heal the pain and all the anger and the frustration and the the hurt that you felt. You know, it takes years. It's not like a normal breakup where you love somebody but you break up and then, weeks later you're okay. It's not like that. It's something that, you know, you've gone through so much stuff and it's changed you as a person. And, you see, I tend to see a lot of, just looking back at this in particular, I see a lot of how he was, and I see a lot of who I am currently, that I took on a lot of his characteristics. A lot of stuff that he used to do to me, I was doing back to him. And at the time of me doing it, I didn't see that. And then it took something. I don't know if it was, we went to a therapy session one day where she was like, "Why are you two together? Are you two together because you actually care and love each other, or are you two together because it's convenient and you're afraid to be alone?" I just want to let you guys know that you don't have to be with anybody. You could be happy by yourself. You don't have to settle for something that's not meant for you to have. I I try to push myself into a lot, and I ended up becoming a totally different person because of that. And um I don't know. I'm just looking over here at my Harley Quinn poster from the Suicide Squad, and I watched the movie for a second time last night, I believe it was, or the day before that. No, it was last night, because I couldn't watch it because there's certain things in that movie that trigger those memories that I have. It triggers, like when she's in the stairwell and she's having a flashback. She looks down, and they're all the way up almost to the roof, and she looks down and she's having a flashback of when she stopped the Joker in traffic and wanted him to let her in, and he was like, "Would you die for me?" And she was like, "Yes." And he was like, "No, that's too easy. Would you live for me?" And he says, "You can't say these words lightly. These are words that if you say them, you will forever be indebted to me." And when she falls back, it reminded me of that, because a lot of times, if you don't understand that whole dynamic that the Joker and Harley have, Harley was a doctor. She was a psychiatrist. She, had the nice house, the nice car, buy Louis Vuittons, buy Gucci bags, Prada bags, stuff like that. And this guy just kind of fed into, he manipulated her, and she felt sorry for him. And a lot of times, what happens is, it's, and then he, goes and electrocutes her. Um, but it's like that. It's the um, it's it's every bit of Stockholm syndrome. It's you're in love with somebody that doesn't care about you, but in order for you to it starts off as a survival instinct. They start off, it's a honeymoon phase, and then it goes into this circle and into the cycle where they start off this wonderful person, and they're doing all this great grand, you know this grand gestures of wanting to be with you, and then all of a sudden it gets, if you sneeze the wrong way, they smack you into the wall. Or if you make a joke, and it's like, they're putting their hands around your throat. Um, and it's like, I was only able to watch that movie once because when I went to go see it, I saw it in 3D and went, great. Great thing to see in 3D in the colors. Um, but just sitting there, I was in tears. I literally had tissue. I was wiping my face off, and I I like Harley's character because I literally see myself in that character. I literally see everything that I've gone through in this whole entire process in that particular character. And a lot of the stuff that this individual used to do, I see in the Joker. And it's kind of crazy, but if you've ever gone through something so violent, so toxic, you see yourself in these type of characters. I see myself, like, I literally, in every sense of the word, ended up like her almost. You know, well, actually, I mean, yeah, I have, and it was hard for me to watch it yesterday because when it splits to that, it just brings back all of these bad memories for me, and it's right now I'm a little bit teary eyed because she says in it, she asked Deadshot, "Have you ever been in love?" And he says, "Love, I can't be in love, with as many people as I've, you know, took out, it's love's weakness for him." But sometimes it brings back those traumatic memories for those of us who've been through it. And it's like I saw myself in that because she loved this man who was so violent towards her. If you don't know, like, the history behind them too, he was very volatile towards her. Like the comics, where it's just them two, he was very violent. Even in the cartoons, he was violent towards her. Um, and she still stayed there like a dog, like loyal and you know unchanged and all of that. Um, and it's just when you've gone through stuff like that, you see it, you can recognize it, and you see yourself in this character. You see yourself in these characters, and it's kind of like that's a reason why I like dressing up like her for Halloween and stuff. I have a whole costume in my closet, but they it a lot of times people romanticize them too, but it's not. It's nothing romantic about a man abusing you. There isn't. There's just not. It's not. It's not romantic. It's not cute. It's not cool. It's not sexy. It's not hot. If somebody's asking you, why are you wearing that? Who are you going out with? You got 20 missed calls and 15 text messages. You got him having people watching you every time you go somewhere. It is abuse. It's a red flag. Those are all red flags. So please, please stay away from somebody who does those things. Take it from me. I've got scars that are barely visible now, but I see them, I see them. I have emotional scars. I have mental scars. You can't see those. Um, I have night terrors. When I first came home, they had to put me on medication. I've learned how to channel my anger in those things into something productive like what I'm doing now. And, some days it's hard. Some days it's, I could I barely want to do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to go outside. But, you know, I, this is the way I am sometimes. I just, you know, I've learned to navigate life with what I've been given. I've learned how to make lemons from, I was given lemons, so I made lemonade with it. But, you know, all this I'm saying is, I just want to give you guys a piece of me of what I've gone through, you know. Um, as an adult, I was in my 20s when most of this happened. And I thought it was hopeless to get away from it. But, sometimes people are removed from your life for a reason, The first time I removed myself from the situation. And the second, all the other times, I always removed myself from the situation. But the final time, he was removed from the situation, which is wonderful because now, I can live my life. But, I still have to, I, I, I have to go on with myself. I have to keep pushing. I have to keep, no matter how hard it gets, I have to keep going, you know, you know, yes, it was a terrible time in my life, but it was also a learning experience for me. What I will deal with and what I won't deal with. I always say, even today, you have one time, and that's it. I'm giving you one chance, and if you show me that you aren't worth my time, then you have to go. But it's October. That's another thing too. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month as well as Cancer Awareness Month. Um, and this is my um, I don't want to say gift. My This is from me to you. I don't know what you want to call this, but um, I just wanted to come here and talk. I know I'm talking for forever. And this video is almost 2 hours long. But I'm just hoping that, you know that you're not the only one going through it. A lot of people have gone through it. You know, I've got a purple ribbon with the word survivor on the top of it on my wrist because that's the most sensitive part of of my arm anyway. And it's always a reminder, it's always remember, although you went through this, it made you a better person. It made you a tougher person. It made you a stronger person. Um, and I had always been that person, but it took me this to realize, you know, hey, you're a bad chick. You're a tough chick. You've gone through hell and gasoline draws and come out the other side. Um, I think that's actually another reason why I'm starting to get into Buddhism as well, because of all the stuff that's been going on around and all the stuff that I've went through. It's kind of taught me, I have to learn how to be at peace with everything. I have to learn how to just be one with myself and how to be at peace with myself as well as everything around me and everyone around me. Um, but I hope this wasn't too much for you guys. Um, I hope you could feel that you can talk about stuff like this with your family, your friends, loved ones, teachers, anybody. Um, and for those that are going through this or know somebody going through this, um, or if your one of your parents is going through this, or grandma, auntie, share this video with them. Um, you're not alone. You're not alone. Um, just try to support that person as much as possible because they're going to need you in the end. Um, and sometimes, a friend of mine gave me the best wake up call. I don't want to hear about it. You're choosing to be with this person. Don't bring up their name ever again. So that was kind of like, wow, if she didn't love me, if my friend didn't love me, she wouldn't have said that to me. So, you know, if they need a wake up call, you can show them this video. Um, but with that being said, I hope you enjoy your day. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and have a good night as well. So I love you guys, and I will definitely talk to you in the next video. Love you. Peace.